Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how are you guys doing? I am finally back after give or take 3 weeks between moving to Lubbock and working out in the middle of nowhere with no internet or anything of that nature. I'm finally back home for a while, so I'm able to post a video, and we are getting into the NFL season. It officially kicked off last night with the Hall of Fame game, and that was really cool to listen to. I wasn't able to watch it. I was driving home last night, and I got back at like midnight or whatever it was. But anyway, I wanted to start getting all my NFL stuff out. I apologize that I haven't been able to really do it during training camp and all of that stuff, but we're here now, and I want to try and get as many things done this weekend as I can. Then I'll be gone for 2 more weeks, and then I'll come back, and I'll be moving to Lubbock, and I should be officially moved in and done with everything like the 20th of August, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, that week, about 2 weeks before the actual NFL kickoff for the regular season. So I got plenty of time to update everything and make more videos related to what happens in the preseason with injuries and things of that nature. But I want to do this first, which is the 2018 season record predictions, or at least my opinions on that. I'm going to make a video talking about just the running backs, the wide receivers, the tight ends, and the quarterbacks, and then just teams in general that I'm looking at. That's what I want to get through or out at least this weekend. I'll be here until Tuesday, so I'll be working on that. And so I should have like 5 or 6 videos posted in the next couple days. I might even do a couple for NASCAR with Watkins Glen. I might not do the Xfinity series, but I might do the Cup series if I feel like it or anything. Anyway, we're 2 minutes into this video. Let's get into it. 2018 season predictions. I'm going to start with, and I'm just going to go through all the teams, and I'm just going off of the PDF file of the NFL season. But we're starting with the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to do 11-5 for this season. I think they're going to have an easy first 4 weeks. I think they're going to take down the Falcons easy. Tampa Bay is a freaking train wreck right now with their quarterback being out for a few games, and then Tampa Bay is a train wreck. They're going to take the Indianapolis Colts, even though Andrew Luck is back, and then Tennessee Titans, although they have a new offensive coordinator and they're changing the way that Marcus Mariota is going to be handling the ball, I don't see Tennessee a real factor for the Philadelphia Eagles. I think they're going to lose to the Vikings. Excuse me. I think that's going to be their first loss, and they're going to win against the Giants, Carolina, Jacksonville easy. Then they have their bye on November 4th, and then they're going to beat the Cowboys. They're going to lose against the Saints, beat the Giants. I think the Giants are not going to really improve that much. I think Eli Manning is still just no bueno, no good, very no good at all. Gonna defeat the Redskins easily. They're gonna beat the Cowboys again. Then they're gonna lose to the Rams, Houston, and Redskins. I'm probably not gonna go through each of these. I'll just start saying the names because that took way longer than I anticipated. But I think Eagles are gonna go 11-5, easily make the playoffs. I see no problem with that. Carson Wentz is an amazing guy. His arms tremendous, and the way he can scramble in the pocket is amazing. And I want to say this first right now. The teams that I'm looking at this year that I really have a lot of hopes for is Philadelphia, the Houston Texans, the Los Angeles Chargers. And you're probably thinking, what, the Chargers? Like, what are you, crazy? Yeah, they got Melvin Gordon. They got Phillip Rivers. Gosh, dang it, man. My dang throat's just going out of me. The wide receiving corps is fantastic. I think LA is going to be I think both LA teams are going to be great this year, and it's going to be a dogfight between those two and who gets farther in the playoffs. But both those teams are good. So those are my top teams that I'm looking at. I'm not looking at the Patriots, not looking at the Steelers and all that. I think Houston's going to be the best fantasy team out there this whole year. I think that's how it's going to go with Deshaun Watson, Hopkins, all those guys. I think there's no running game in Houston. I mean, Deshaun Watson is the running game, so I think Deshaun Watson is going to be a really, really important quarterback to DFS this year, and he's going under the radar. I don't understand. I understand he played like 8 games or whatever it was last year. He played like half season, but he threw a crap load of touchdowns. I mean, I forgot how many he threw. Off the top of my head, it was like an extraordinary amount, like close, like over 20 in the games that he played. Um, let me see that right fast. I gotta check this. Let's see. Sean Watson touchdowns 2017. Let me see. I mean his. Let's see. 27. Yeah, he played 7 games. Yeah, he played 7 games. Touchdown threw 19 touchdowns in 7 games. That's amazing. Are you serious? Like the way Deshaun Watson's played, he played 7 games and threw 19 touchdowns. That's crazy. I absolutely love Deshaun Watson this year. Anyway, back to the main thing, and I'll start talking about all that stuff later. Washington Redskins going to go 6-10. Even with Alex Smith in Washington now, I don't see them doing much of anything. I think they're gonna have a really rough road. I think Alex Smith is a good guy. Don't get me wrong; he brought Kansas City to the playoffs these last few years, but I don't see it for Washington. And then going to the Giants, I think they're going to improve from last year. I don't think they're going to be amazing, but I think they're going to go 8-8. I think the addition in the running back is really going to help Eli Manning. I think they're going to be extremely run first this entire year because last year we saw that Eli Manning just does not have it. So New York Giants going to go 8-8. Dallas Cowboys between Dak Prescott and Ezekiel, I think they're going to do 9-7. They got a rougher schedule out of some of the teams. They either got really tough guys or really easy guys. I mean, they're facing Carolina. I think Carolina's not going to be good this year. Giants aren't going to be good this year. Seattle is just not going to really improve anything. I think I have them 8-8, but we'll talk about them when we get there. Detroit, Cowboys should go 4-0 to start the season, and then lose to the Houstons and everything. But the Dallas Cowboys 9-7. Detroit Lions, I have them at 8-8. Matt Stafford, he has his good games and he has his bad games. He's not as bad as Mr. Fig Newton in in Carolina. And yes, I call him Fig Newton just because that's how I roll. But I don't think Matt Stafford has it. I don't think the Lions are going to make the playoffs. I think they're just going to go 8-8. I think the Bears are going to be a train wreck as well. I think they're going to go 3-13. They have a pretty rough schedule. I mean, they're taking Green Bay, Seattle. Even though what I just said about Seattle, that Trubisky is not going to be able to carry that team through Seattle, and then they're facing the Cardinals, and I think the Cardinals are going to be fine against Chicago, and then I think they're going to lose to Tampa Bay, and then they face the Patriots, the Jets. They should beat the Jets. But they got the Vikings, the Lions, the Rams, Packers, 49ers, and Vikings to finish off their season. So Chicago Bears 3-13 to end that. Minnesota Vikings are going to come down from last year. I got them going 8-8. They got a rougher schedule: 49ers, Green Bay, Rams, Eagles, Saints, New England, Green Bay again. They got a rougher schedule, and then the Packers with Aaron Rodgers back. I think he can carry them to 10 wins this year. Should go 4-0 the first 4 weeks facing the Bears, the Vikings, Redskins, and Bills. The Bills are not going to be anything. I think their real struggle is going to be in October, where they face the Lions, the 49ers, Rams, and Patriots. I think the 49ers are going to be good this year, so I think they're going to go 4-4 in the first 8 weeks, and then they're going to win 4, lose 4, and then win 4 again. So I got Green Bay at 10-6, Carolina Panthers 8-8. Looking at their schedule, what was I gonna say here? I wrote something down. I think they're gonna start. I think Newton is gonna play better in the beginning of the year because he's changing the ways they've been working on the way he's. Excuse me. They've been working on the offensive. Wow, I just went blank. The offensive coordinator has been trying new things this year, trying to get Cam Newton to stop being such a high and low type of quarterback, they're trying to get rid of those peaks and valleys that he faces. So I think he's gonna start off better this year. They're gonna lose the first week against the Cowboys and then win 4. And then I think everyone's going to pick up on how he's playing, starting with the Redskins, and they're going to lose to the Redskins, Eagles, Steelers, Seahawks. I think they're going to lose against the Browns later in the year, and I think they're going to lose against the Saints. So Carolina 8-8, Atlanta Falcons. They're going to go 7-9. They got a really tough schedule here. One of the harder ones this year. They're going to start with the Eagles, Panthers, Saints, Bengals, and Steelers, and they're going to lose 4 of those easy. I don't see the Falcons beating the Eagles. I don't see them beating the Saints, the Steelers, even if Le'Veon Bell isn't there. And Antonio Brown should be fine. I know he took a fall this 2 days ago in practice, laying on his shoulder, but that's nothing major. So Antonio Brown should be fine. And as I said before, all this is before injuries and things of that nature. So anything can happen between now and the start of the regular season. And then Tampa Bay, as I said, they're dumpster fire, 3-13. They're gonna struggle. It's just gonna be a train wreck. They need hard knocks on Tampa Bay again this year because that's gonna be a shit show. New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees is gonna carry them to a 12-4 season. I think they're gonna be a contender for the Super Bowl. Um, I mean, it's hard to really look at the Saints and find their weaknesses. I mean, if anything, their weakness is in their defense. But I mean, they got a strong defense, and oh man, their offense between now and Kamara and Breeze is just the Saints are going to be really, really good this year. Rams, I think they're going to take a small step back. I think they're going to go 10-6 this year. They're not going to be as dominant because last year they had a miracle. Like no one was injured the entire season. They had like no injuries. I don't think there's no way that's going to happen again. They're going to have a little bit of a struggle. I think the league is finding out how Gurley is operating, how he plays, and they're going to be focusing on him. Just like Dallas and Ezekiel, like you need a man on Ezekiel Elliott. Here with the Rams, you need to put at least 2 guys on Gurley, and because of that, I think Gurley's going to take a step back in his fantasy points, just because he's going to be covered in every game. And granted, he'll still be catching, he'll still be running, but I think he's not going to be as strong as he was last year. I got the Arizona Cardinals going 8-8. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, and I think the Cardinals could easily go 7-9, 6-10. I don't see them winning any more than 8 games. I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt of at the end of the season, some of the better teams are going to be resting starters. So I think that's where some of their wins are going to go. I think they went 8. I'm pretty sure the Cardinals went 8-8 last year when they beat the Seahawks and the Giants the last 2 weeks, but I could be wrong there. But Arizona Cardinals 8-8, and then Seattle Seahawks. I think that God, what's his face? Just went blank on the damn coach for the Seahawks. Jesus, Pete Carroll. I think Pete Carroll is losing a lot of the locker room. I think that place is very divided, especially with Sherman. I mean, just wanting to get out of there and go into the 49ers and everything. I think the Seahawks are going to go 6-10. I think this might be the start of a rebuilding period for Seattle because I don't see that team working as a unit, being a family. I think there's a lot of aggravation between the offense and defense, and they're still pissed off about that damn Super Bowl that they lost to the Patriots. So I'm pretty sure Seattle's going to go 6-10. Or at least a losing record this year. And then San Francisco 49ers, I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to carry that team to 11 wins and 5 losses this year. I mean, he was kicking ass last year, and I think they're going to go 3-0. I think they're going to beat the Vikings, Lions, and Chiefs to start off the year. They're going to lose to the Chargers, and then beat the Cardinals and Packers, lose to the Rams, beat the Cardinals again, beat the Raiders, beat the Giants, beat Tampa Bay, beat Seattle. I mean, just there's the 49ers are going to be in the playoffs easy. I don't see how they're not unless Garoppolo breaks a leg or something. They're perfectly in there. And then I have Miami and Buffalo both looking at only 3 wins this year. And Buffalo has a tough schedule. I think hell, I don't have them winning a game until November 11th facing the Jets. Ravens have a better defense than the Bills' offense. They're going to face the Chargers. They're going to face the Vikings. They're going to face Green Bay. They're going to face Tennessee. They're going to face Houston. They're going to face Andrew Luck in Indianapolis. They're going to face Tom Brady and the Patriots. They're going to face Chicago. Bills might go 4-12, 3-13. It's going to be around there. I don't see them doing what they did last year. I don't see them making the playoffs. Although I do love watching Bills fans party. Those guys are crazy. And then I think the Miami Dolphins are in the exact same situation, where it could be a 3-13 season, 4-12 season, maybe even a 5-11 season. I have a little bit more faith in the Dolphins than the Bills, but that's where I pretty much have these teams locked. And Miami doesn't have as tough as a schedule, but they can't put anything together. These last years have just been real sad. Oh well, who cares about the Dolphins anyway? No one plays their thing. They lost one of their best receivers to the Browns, so Miami's gonna go down the toilet. The Jets are gonna go 5-11 this year. Really nothing much more to say there. New England Patriots, I think they're gonna go 12-4. They have a little easier schedule, although the Patriots have always started off rocky. The September has never been a good month for the Patriots if you look at history. Um, the only losses that I see them taking are against the Steelers, the Chiefs, the Colts, and Texans. I think they can beat everyone else because they're facing the Jets, Bills, Dolphins, Vikings, Jets, Titans, Bills, Bears. Gosh, they got such an easy schedule this year. I don't see why they can't do it. 11-5, 12-4 season. Cincinnati Bengals, I got them going 5-11. They have one of the tougher schedules, and I don't think Andy Dalton and AJ Green can really pull it out. Facing Andrew Luck and the Colts, the Ravens, the Panthers, the Falcons, Miami, the Steelers, Chiefs, Buccaneers, Saints, Ravens, Browns, Broncos, Chargers, Raiders, Browns, and Steelers. That is a tough schedule for Cincinnati. If they can make the playoffs, Cincinnati's going to win the Super Bowl because that's a tough schedule for Cincinnati. I don't see them going. Although, man, I can't wait to watch Cincinnati play the Steelers twice. God, I love those. I hope that's a physical game. Oh man, I love last year's game. That was football right there. Some dude being paralyzed on the field, more guys knocking each other out. I mean, that is football right there. I got the Ravens. I honestly believe Joe Flacco is going to he's going to lose the starting quarterback job about halfway through the season. And I think Lamar's is going to carry the Ravens later in the season. I think the Ravens are going to go 7-9. Nothing much more to say there. Steelers 10-6. I think Cleveland's going to improve to 8-8 with Baker Mayfield. They actually have real players this year. It's not just a clusterfuck like it was last year. They got a good quarterback. They got some good receivers out there. I think Cleveland is going to be way better, regardless of what you think about Baker Mayfield. I think Cleveland. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs. Don't see Cleveland making the playoffs. I think they need another year there, but they're going to easily get over 6 wins. I don't see them getting anything less than 6 wins. But I have them as 8-8. Indianapolis Colts. I think they're going to go 9-6 with Andrew Luck carrying them back. And then we get to the Houston Texans with Deshaun Watson. I think they're going to go 11-5. I think they're going to beat the Patriots the first week. Going to beat the Titans. Going to beat the Jets. Going to beat the Colts. Going to beat the Cowboys. Going to beat the Bills. I think their first loss is going to be against the Jaguars in October. They're going to beat the Dolphins. They're going to lose against the Broncos, lose against the Redskins, and then beat the Titans, the Browns, the Colts, the Jets, and then lose the last 2 games of the season against the Eagles and Jacksonville Jaguars, probably because they're going to be resting starters, especially against Jacksonville December 30th. So Houston Texans 11-5, going through more of these teams. Tennessee Titans, I got them as 7-9. Not going to make the playoffs, but I think, God, I've been saying I think a lot in this one. I usually never say I think that much because it makes me sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. But Marcus Mariota, man, he's just not a vocal guy. I've been listening to him in some of his interviews, and he does a whole lot of ums and, well, we got other guys here, and just, we're just doing what we can. I don't see Marcus Mariota really being the leader there. I don't think he can have the. I think he needs to be more vocal, and he needs to pick that team up and start hauling them, and start throwing more touchdown passes to himself like he did last year. But I have them at 7-9. Jacksonville Jaguars are going to step back. I like Blake Bortles and Bortcoin, but they're going to go 8-8, 8-8, 7-9. That's where they're going to be. They're going to have a good defense. If Jacksonville gets anything more than 8 wins, it's going to be because their defense is just kicking some ass. Um, I was looking at some of the stats, and I didn't realize that while Jacksonville was crazy last year, Baltimore had the most interceptions last year. I just found that really interesting. That was like a really interesting little stat that I picked up because I didn't even think Baltimore was like that crazy good last year, but they had the most interceptions, and then Jacksonville I think was third or fourth in that. I could be wrong there. Um, but Jacksonville, they're going to need their defense to carry them. Um, I don't think Leonard Fournette's going to be as talented, or at least as good as he was last year. Let's see, going to Kansas City Chiefs. 5-11. They got a really tough schedule. Really starting off against Chargers, Steelers, 49ers, and then going to Jacksonville, Patriots, Broncos, Bengals, Broncos again, Browns, Cardinals, Rams, and frickin' Mexico City, Raiders, Ravens. 5-11 for Kansas City. I think Reed is gonna do some dumb call again, or Andy's gonna make him lose. Andy Reid's going to cause them to lose more games. I got Broncos at 7-9. Case Keenum, I think he's gonna lighten up what the Broncos have needed these last couple of years in terms of quarterbacks. Um, I don't think they're gonna have a positive winning year, but I think they're gonna be at 7-9. And then Von Miller, man, Von Miller is just amazing. Him and J.J. Watt are just crazy. I'm just ranting at this point. I got 2 teams left. Let me just get to them. I got the Oakland Raiders going 4-12, and I think the Gruden and Raider fiasco is gonna. It's a 10-year contract. I think the first 4 years are gonna be absolute garbage. I think Gruden is, and I like Gruden. I think he's a really good commentator, but I think he's teaching them in such an old-fashioned way, in such an old way of thinking. Because, and this is just one example. He was showing them plays from like the 70s of like what worked in the 70s, and while Belichick hasn't fallen this far down, we've seen that Belichick needed to change with the times, and that's what he does. Or that's what he's done up until this last Super Bowl. But I think Gruden is going to have to. I think they're going to have a really shitty season, and I think Gruden's going to realize that he can't coach like he used to, and he's going to have to change it anyway. Oakland Raiders 4-12, and then the Chargers. I have the Chargers. I'm looking at it, and I think it's a 13-3 season. I think they're they're gonna kick some ass this year. They're gonna beat the Chiefs easily, gonna beat the Bills easy, gonna lose against the Rams and 49ers, and they have the Raiders, Cleveland, the Titans, the Seahawks, the Raiders, the Broncos, the Cardinals, the Steelers, Bengals, Chiefs, Ravens, and Broncos. I think Los Angeles can easily do a 13-3 season, and that's where this ends, at least. Those are my win-loss predictions, or at least an idea of where I'm thinking at for this year. I'm really looking forward to this. It's going to be a crazy year. It's going to be a good year with quarterbacks. A lot of good quarterbacks in this league, and I can't wait to go more in depth on those receivers and running backs and things of that nature. I appreciate you listening this far, and I can't wait to just start posting more of these. I'm so happy to get back into football. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. If you guys want to donate, PayPal's in the description. My Twitter link is in the description if you want to follow me there. And thanks, guys. Hope your preseason DFS goes well if you're doing that. And I'll see you in the next video.